How to identify post-injury breakout players in fantasy football. Are you curious about how to spot players who might shine after recovering from injuries in fantasy football? Let's break down the key factors that can help you identify those potential breakout stars. First, start by looking at the type and severity of the injury. Minor injuries, like ankle sprains, usually allow for quicker recoveries. However, major injuries, such as anterior cruciate ligament tears or fractures, often requiring longer rehabilitation and can impact a player's performance. Keep an eye on off-season reports that discuss a player's recovery progress. This information can give you a good idea of their readiness to return to the field. Next, consider the player's role in the offense before the injury. If a player was heavily involved in their team's game plan, they are more likely to return to form. For instance, a running back who was a key part of the passing game may have a higher chance of breaking out upon their return. Understanding their usage before the injury is essential. Another factor to evaluate is the team context. Changes in coaching staff, offensive schemes, or the addition of new players can affect a returning player's opportunities. A player may find themselves with fewer touches if a rookie or a newly acquired player steps in. Conversely, they might benefit from teammates' injuries or a lack of depth at their position. Age and injury history also play a role. Younger players typically recover better and have more potential for growth. On the other hand, veterans with a history of injuries may face challenges with athleticism. Still, some experienced players can perform well if their skills do not rely heavily on physical traits. It is also important to look at how the player performed in limited action after returning from injury. Pay attention to metrics like yards per carry, catch rate, or yards after contact. Positive signs in these areas indicate that a player may be ready to break out. Additionally, listen to reports from coaches and trainers about the player's conditioning and confidence levels. As a fantasy manager, target players who show strong recovery signs, have a defined role, and are in favorable team situations. Monitoring training camp updates, depth chart changes, and early season snap counts can confirm their breakout potential. For example, players returning from anterior cruciate ligament injuries who are running at full speed in off-season workouts and have secured contract extensions are good candidates to consider. Identifying post-injury breakout players involves combining recovery status, prior usage, team dynamics, age, injury history, and early performance indicators. By focusing on these factors, you can make informed decisions about which players to target after they return from injury.